Yeah, it said we talked to you last after the Kansas game. You talked about some of those young players that have played more and more. Robert Spears Jennings, some of the linebackers, things like that. With the bye week, the being able to get some of those guys reps. How do you feel like some of those guys are closer to being able to contribute more, and how big of a role do you expect some of those freshmen maybe that have seen their roles start to expand a little bit in the second half of the season?
Yeah, we're closer, with increased reps and opportunities, their performance has gotten better. And then at the same time, we want to play a lot of guys. We want to rotate guys and play a bunch of people. That helps in a lot of ways. But at the same time, we make decisions based on what we think gives us the best chance to win at that particular time. And some of it could be how a guy's playing. I mean, there's all kinds of variables and factors that go into it. But yeah, we're making progress with that, sure.
Anybody specifically among that group that you've seen take a lot of strides here in the last couple weeks?
I think Jared Canick and Kip Lewis have made some strides. Robert Spears Jennings has made strides. Gentry Williams has made strides. R. Mason has made strides. Grayson Holton has made strides. So you're seeing a lot of guys that, and Kobe McKenzie has made some strides. So there are a lot of guys that are making strides. Sure.
All right, another week, another big-time wide receiver in this conference with Xavier Hutchinson.
Yeah.
What makes
7 catches, right?
Yeah. What makes him different from the challenges of guys like Quentin Johnson at TCU and Xavier Worthy, as far as productive, but his skill set specifically?
Well, I don't know that there's things that make him different than those guys. Those guys are all really, 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 really good football players that are exceptionally productive. He's a guy that they get the ball to a lot on all different types of routes. His route tree, he runs the entire route tree, and he's reliable. He's tough. He's good after the ball. He breaks tackles. He's a matchup problem, and they do a really good job of finding him, targeting him, and getting the football, because good things happen for them when he gets the ball.
Speaking more generally on Billy Bowman, you haven't had him now since TCU. What does the secondary, the defense on the whole, miss when he's not out there with his skill set and versatility?
Oh, we miss a really good player that makes plays, that communicates well. That's one of our best players. But again, that's part of the game,
Back right, Justin Martinez. Coach, Key Lawrence had half a tackle for loss, 2 broken up passes against Kansas. Seemed to be everywhere on the field. What impressed you the most about him just as of late?
He had more production. He did a better job of making some plays on the ball, and plays that we needed him to make. So those things.
Yeah, just how important is it just to continue that focus on third down stops, getting off the field on third down? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's critical. It's critical at every level of football, with every team. Because when we've gotten off the field this year on third down, we've played well. And when we haven't done a good job on third down, for whatever reason, whether it's a penalty, a mistake, or whatever, a bad call, whatever, it's come back to bite us. When we've had opportunities to get off the field and haven't, those drives have gone on and usually cost us points more times than not. So there's a big focus on that, moving forward to get better on third down.
On first down, though, winning first down, putting them down in distant situations, are you not seeing what you want there? Because a lot of times you're seeing third and manageable for the other team too.
We want to get better on everywhere. I mean, that's certainly when you're better on first and second down, third down becomes more predictable, and that's football. But the situational awareness, the situational efficiency, all the things that go into becoming a top level defense. Sure.
Hey Ted, you got the 2 interceptions against Kansas from Deshaun and CJ. Just how big is it when you see those guys make plays like that, and especially when it comes to turnovers? Is that something that can, going forward through Big 12 play, those plays can kind of provide some momentum in that regard?
Yeah, absolutely. We had some opportunities from other ones that we dropped, but yeah, they were huge plays in the football game. Really big plays, and usually they always are. So that part of it, but we coach that every week, and we drill it every week, and sometimes we make them and sometimes we don't. But taking the ball away from the other team has always been and always will be a critical factor in winning and losing football games.
How much do you guys emphasize that? Is there a balance between, telling these guys to look to be aggressive and force turnovers while not trying to be right?
We want to be aggressive in everything we do. There's no balance there. We want to be aggressive in everything we do. And at the same time, the first guy there has to secure the tackle, and the second guy, third guy, fourth guy, whatever, to get population. There's two things that cause takeaways, right? Population of the football and contact with the football. And those are elements we coach every day. Sure. But it's been my experience that some years, some weeks, years, days, whatever, sometimes when they come in groves, and then when they don't, it's like the Sahara Desert. So, and some years are in between. So, yeah, sure.
Ted, how happy were you with last week in terms of balancing rest but keeping them sharp, and how tough is that to do?
Well, that is something you want. You want growth and improvement, and you also want to start this week with a fresh football team. And I think that the plan that Coach Venables put in place was excellent, and we were able to accomplish, both of those objectives. We certainly got better last week, and at the same time, we're a refreshed, energized football team.
Back left, John Hoover.
Yeah, Ted, I know you've studied the offensive side of the ball for the opponent, but I wonder if you maybe as a defensive coach have an appreciation for what the Iowa State staff has kind of installed, and it's kind of grown from there around the country. I think Brent said at some point he called them in and said, hey, I'd like to do what some of you guys are doing. So just an appreciation maybe for the type of defense that they play.
They play great defense, and they've done a great job. And we respect their entire football team, not just their defense. We respect their entire football team. And if you look at their football team, they're sitting there at a record of 3-4, but we could be playing a team just as easily that's 7-0. When you look at all their games are one possession, all their losses are one possession losses. That's one play. So, they're one play away in 4 games from being 7-0. So we respect every opponent, but certainly have a lot of respect for Iowa State and how they do what they do.
Is there anything unique about it that jumps off the page at you?
Unique, they play hard, they play tough, they're physical, they're efficient. So they move around a lot, and it's a tremendous challenge for us. Sure.
Let's go back to Eli.
Asked Jeff about this, and he sort of deferred it to the defense with DJ Graham. What did you see of him as a defensive back in this defense, and what precipitated?
That's a question for Coach Venables. I'm not going to address position moves or injuries. Thank you.
James.
And you've always talked about the install, and I know you're several games in, but was you able to take advantage of continuing to focus on that a little bit? And the Iowa State, you talked about Hutchinson a little bit, but what about the Iowa State offense as a whole?
Well, to your first question, yeah, we continued with that, and we also took a hard look at ourselves, which we do every week, but an extended self-scout. I just got out of a 2-hour self-scout presentation where a group of coaches on our staff were reviewing our defense and what they saw, how they would attack us, things of that nature. Because you always want to look at yourself sometimes, how the other team, what do they see? And so that was really, really helpful. A lot of it's affirmation, things you already know, and it's just different perspective and different viewpoints. As far as the Iowa State team, I've seen a very efficient offense. The quarterback he's efficient. He leads the Big 12 in completions. They have only given up 3 sacks, which may be the best in the country. I don't know, but certainly not very many. So they don't beat themselves. They stay on schedule, and a lot of teams, a lot of their games, you see a lot of the 3rd and 2-4s, 2-5s, where you've got to be efficient on those down and distances and get off the field. So it's a real challenge. Yeah.
Anything else for Coach Hoover?
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Coach.
Thanks, George.